We've been fortunate to go to this, our 21st straight bowl game, and we're really proud of that fact. And playing, again, not just a quality opponent, a great program in UCLA. And we're excited about that. The bowl experience for our players has been second to none, and we appreciate everything that you guys have done and set everything up. And we're excited, like I said, about playing a great UCLA football team. Looking at them from an offensive perspective. Dynamic skill kids, a tremendous athletic quarterback that can, stretch the field vertically as well as horizontally. Receivers that can take it vertically and make plays after the catch, if they're catching underneath. And then, a slew of tailbacks. I'm hoping the Jack kid doesn't play a whole lot. Man, he's pretty good. But, like I said, I've known Noel and Lou's got a chance to meet him years ago, and we've known each other, but I've known Noel and got a lot of respect for him and what he's done, and it shows on the field. I mean, we've got a tremendous opportunity, but also a tremendous challenge, but we're looking forward to this.
Your kids mentioned Maryland and what their quarterback did to you guys. Your defensive players mentioned that. Is that something you've been bringing up with them, or is that on their own?
No, that's obviously, that's something, that's one thing that Brett does is, he does a great job of creating when things aren't there. And always, I think, when you have that element, with a dual threat guy, there's always concern. You got to make sure you keep your rush lanes. You got to make sure if you're playing any kind of man, you've got to have a freed up guy. So if you're just playing man under too deep, a guy can, open things up for you. So we've got to do a good job of keeping him contained, and obviously keep his, the rush lanes, where he cannot have great escapability. But that's something we've talked about, no doubt.
Does he remind you of anybody you faced before?
Well, several guys. I mean, he's a big athletic kid that, we played some really good ones, from Donovan McNabb to different people like that, and he's in that mode. But hey, he's bigger. He's the one thing I've been really impressed with is his toughness when he runs. He breaks a lot of tackles, and I'm sure Noel, it looks like you've been doing a lot of drills right there. Yeah. But no, I mean, just a tremendous athlete, tremendous competitor, and he's a big kid, and I know we've talked to several coaches going into this game, and I think that's one thing they've all said is just how big and physical and how competitive he is, and and it shows on the film.
Is there a difference though? Maryland guys seem to drop back and then immediately take off running.
Well, that wasn't, obviously you're going to get some quarterback draws and some different things like that. We had a couple situations in the Maryland game, we had a great rush and the guy falls down, a couple different things, you just can't, it wasn't, we played a little bit of man under stuff, he was going into that game a little banged up, and so, he made a couple plays.
What do you think Kyle Fuller's role will be?
That's a good point. Kyle's made, I think, a remarkable return, but at the same time, he's not there yet. I think you'll see his role, in a variety of aspects, in some nickel situations, hopefully. Each day, he comes back, he does some good things, but also he comes back a little sore, as you could probably imagine, after having a, pretty significant surgery. Whatever we can get out of him would be great. We're kind of going in the game really not counting on him, to be honest with you. I don't care about telling these guys. I like our young freshmen. I think they're going to play well, and I know these guys well enough. I know they're going to play and play a lot. So, but anything we can get out of Kyle would be a bonus.
Was it disappointing that Antone isn't? It seems like basically everything conspired against him this year.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because the kid, made a great preparation to get back after, his surgery, and was a great leader. Was a great leader on the field, in the meeting rooms, all those things that you want from your senior, your senior class, and especially a senior member in that room who's been a leader for us, and to see how hard he worked to get back, and then have something come up that it's been just aggravating now. And luckily it's not his knee, it's his ankle, but we would hope that that thing would come back. But you just hate it for him because how hard he's worked to get back.
When you have such a senior-laden group like you have this year? Do you kind of savor these last moments with them?
Yeah, because every year, every year's it's always a work in progress. I don't care if you have seniors or not. Obviously, when you're younger, and Noel hit it on the head. I mean, the best teacher is experience, and that's the one thing that we have. We've got a lot of guys that played a lot of snaps, and they can adjust to things. We can make adjustments, and it's quick adjustments and things like that. On the sideline, and that's something that you realize. You really enjoy that part of it. And because you got some of those young kids that are learning with reps guys. And you can't make some of those adjustments that you'd like to make. But I like this group. We've won a lot of football games with this group. We've won some championships with this group, and they've been our foundation this year. With our football team, and I appreciate what they've done and what they've done in the past. But their leadership they gave us this year.
When you watch Jack on film, is there anything that he looks that he may not be comfortable as a running back, or does he look like he's any other back that you see on film?
Well, I think the guy, is a dynamic football player, dynamic athlete. I'll be honest with you, I haven't really looked at him, defensively. But as a running back, very explosive. He can put that foot in the ground and get back north and south and run behind his pads and get the top speed right away. And obviously they use him on the goal line a lot, and very powerful guy there. But I tell you what, just when you see him out in the field, he can run vertical, he can stretch the field and then put that foot in the ground and he can get north-south. And I just think he's a dynamic football player, dynamic athlete. And I wish he was playing on our side too. I'd like to have the opportunity to coach a guy like that.
So there's nothing there that shows that maybe he's just new at the position.
No, and obviously I don't know his background from at the high school level. Obviously he must have been a dynamic back at that level as well. But I was hoping he'd just be in there when they'd run the ball, but they don't do that. He'll be in there in protections and some of those things like that. And I'm sure that's one area. And I'm not speaking for Noel, but I'm sure that's one area that his role probably with bowl practice and things of that nature probably they improved on a little bit more. So, just what I've seen is really a dynamic, explosive athlete that really has a tremendous future and tremendous upside. All right.